Hello and welcome back to another Beyblade X unboxing video. I know it's been quite a while since my last Beyblade upload, but I was waiting for these to come in the mail today. And that is the brand new CX Beyblade line, which is CX1, Drawn Brave, CX2, Wizard Arc, and finally CX3 Perseus Dark. And I'll be doing this triple review slightly differently. I'll be going part by part all at the same time to not waste any time, and I'm hopefully going to shed some details that I've noticed that not a whole lot of Beyblade YouTubers, oh gosh, my whole setup's falling apart. Not a whole lot of Beyblade YouTubers have mentioned, and I think it's cool to mention for potential modification videos. Well, we'll quickly look at the front of the box, starting off with CX1, Drawn Brave, showing off the brand new system, if it wants to focus, where it has the support blade, main blade, and the locking chip, I think it's called. And it comes with a white winder launcher. Moving to the back, here are the Beyblade stats for any of you who care. Here it shows the gimmick, which is just an upper attack. Obviously attack blade, because it's a drawn Beyblade. New ratchet, 660. And new bit vortex, with a high burst resistance. I think that's the burst resistance. I don't know what governs 100 out of 80 though. I could be wrong. Moving on to the next one, which is CX02 Wizard Arc. Also comes with a winder launcher, and it shows off the brand new CX system. Going on to the back, of course, it is a stamina type because it's a Wizard Beyblade. And the gimmick here is that it's got a crazy low height thanks to the ratchet. But there are the stats. Here's the brand new ratchet, 455. It is the lowest ratchet we have so far. And a brand new bit, low orb, another stamina bit. And of course the winder launcher. Moving on, here we have CX3 Perseus Dark. Again, showing off the brand new CX system. This is clearly based on the Gravity Perseus from Metal Fight, which is exciting because I never owned that Beyblade. I saw it in Japan when I was in Japan, but I decided not to get it, even though I really regret that, and I should have. Unfortunately, it is not dual spin, but it is a defense type. The gimmick here, it is stating... Also, I wanted to mention, this guy kind of just looks like a jobber. He doesn't look like anything special. He's no Julian from Metal Fight, that's for sure. I think that was his name. Anyways, the gimmick, reflecting attacks, just like the other 15 defense types that claim that gimmick, but this one does it better, I guess. Brand new ratchet, 680. And then brand new bit wedge with a smaller amount of gears, but we'll go over that once we actually unbox the thing. Now, let's unbox the thing. But before we unbox the thing, here is the winder launcher that comes in CX01 and CX02. They're both exactly the same color, white. Not an extra long cord or anything. There's the top. I'm sure you've all seen how a winder launcher works. There it is. Cool. Moving on to the bits now for all three of the Beyblades. Again, I'll be reviewing all three at the same time. Here we have all three of the bits for all three of the Beyblades. Starting off with Drawn Brave is the brand new bit. Vortex. I almost called it Cyclone because that is another Beyblade. I'll be talking about it. High burst resistance, typical for the attack type. But the special thing about this is the star shape, instead of the round flat shape that usually comes with flat. As we see here, it is the same circumference, I'm pretty sure. Not circumference. Area? I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but they're around the same size, the bit. Maybe a bit smaller on Cyclone or Vortex. I'm getting them confused. This is Vortex. Yeah, it's Vortex. Here, and here is Cyclone for comparison, and the difference between Cyclone and Vortex is that Cyclone, the star rotates the other way, so to the left instead of to the right, if you could see that. And it is smaller. It is like a bit smaller. Is that going to impact performance? I think Cyclone will perform slightly better than flat, because the idea for Cyclone and not Cyclone, Vortex, I'm getting them confused again. The idea for Vortex and Cyclone is that it's supposed to create sort of a star pattern or flower pattern, that's what I'm trying to say. And so that means it'll ride the extreme line less. We'll see if that's true or not, while the flat just rides the extreme line as fast as it can. Moving on to CX02 low ball for Wizard Arc. We have, it is ball, or not ball, orb. Man, I'm messing these names up bad. Let's, okay. Low orb. I got it. Low orb is a millimeter shorter than regular orb. Here we have, for comparison, as you can see here, it's kind of got the little plastic bit chopped off here. The ball is around the same shape, I believe. Sorry, I felt like I was rushing through that, because I was. And here we have is regular ball for comparison. Again, smaller ball than ball, I guess. Orb, I guess, I should say. And again, it is a millimeter shorter. Let me see if I could show that by moving the camera real quick. Oh, this is so scuffed. Alright, there it is. You could barely tell. I can't zoom in my camera anymore. There it is. I'm breaking my neck to look at that. But yeah, a millimeter shorter. I don't really like orb. A lot of people said or theorized orb would be better for stamina than ball, but I think because there is less surface area, the argument was that since there's less surface area, less friction, more stamina, but as with like all the less surface area bits, like what is the spike, they kind of suck because they tip super easy, they lose balance super easy, and they scrape on the stadium super easy because of that. So I don't think this is going to be a fantastic stamina tip. I would prefer just regular ball, but whatever. Moving on to wedge. Here we have is wedge, and if you look really close, it's got a little tip there. It is super hard to tell. I think you could tell. So this is supposed to be a defense tip. It is not flat, as I first thought it was. And it has a low gear count. The low gear count is supposed to make it ride the extreme line quicker, but it doesn't really do that, and instead it rides it slower, which is better for stamina. Much like I have Rush here. So it's got a low amount of gears that'll ride the extreme line slower, even though it's advertised as riding the extreme line faster. And then low bit resistance, as for all stamina and defense bits. There it is. And then here I have his spike to compare the points. Super shallow point compared to spike. And I think it'll be a decent tip. I don't know. We'll have to see when I battle with it. I think it'll be fine, but I would prefer something else probably. Alright, moving away from the bits, let's go to the brand new ratchets. And here are all 3 brand new ratchets for all 3 of the Beyblades. We'll start off with Drawn Braves, which is 660, 60 height, 6 millimeters, that always messes me up, and 6 points of contact. It looks pretty good. It's kind of round. It's not as round as, where is it? 7, I think this is 760. For comparison, I wish I chose a different color to show. Does not show well. Oh, there you go. So yeah, 760 is much rounder, but I don't think this is a bad ratchet at all. And the plastic is not as thick as 760. Same thing with 7 or 580. As you see there, the plastic, come on, focus. The plastic, oh come on man. The plastic is thicker than on the 6 ratchet. There it is. Cool, cool, nice color. We'll skip over Wizard Arc's ratchet and go to 680 because it's pretty much the same thing, but taller. Look at that. Nice color too. I like this color better than this thing. There it is for anyone who's curious. Moving on to Wizard Arc, another like specialty ratchet, which is the lowest ratchet we've had so far in Beyblade X. According to the box, there's going to be a shorter one. It's going to be really hard to make this lower. Actually, it won't be too hard, I don't think. There it is. This is 455. Here I have is the I believe this is 480. Yeah. 480 for comparison. It's got a different kind of locking mechanism, and I'll go over that in a bit. But there's the top and the bottom. It is much more square than the regular 480 or 4 ratchets, but it is so low. We'll see if that matters, this shape, because it is the lowest ratchet so far. So it'll be less likely for any Beyblade to hit the actual ratchet. So, you know, who cares if the shape sucks? We care about the height, I guess. I don't know. We'll see how it performs, because that shape is very square. But I also wanted to compare it to 380, 85, I think it's called. And as you see here, they have the same locking type of mechanism, which means the way this mechanism works is that when you put in a bit, no matter the resistance, so here we have a high resistant Beyblade bit, it does not care if it has a high resistant bit. It is gonna click and unlock the same. So I guess this ratchet is low resistance. Here's ball, low resistant bit, same amount of force. This ratchet does not care about the bit resistance at all. So that is something to take into account, but again, it is so low to the ground, who knows if that'll matter. So we'll see how this performs. I think it'll perform well just because it's so low. Moving on to the main event. Before we go piece by piece, here I want to quickly explain the brand new system, the custom system, which is why it's CX instead of BX or UX of these Beyblades. Starting off with the support ratchet, here we have is the support ratchet, which is usually made out, well, so far made out of plastic. Hopefully they'll introduce something else like rubber. I think that'll be cool, or even metal, so it could be like samurai steel. I forget the Japanese name for it, but that's the metal fight where they could fuse the blades together. And here we have is the main blade, which has the main metal contact points, and the locking chip or the face bolt, whatever you want to call it. I'll demonstrate how they'll lock together once I go over all the parts. But again, here's the support blade that goes under the main blade and supports it, and then this goes on top. If I could get it on top. Twists and it locks into place to become one complete blade. And now we'll go over the support blades first. And here we have all 3 support blades for the Beyblades, starting off with Drawn Brave. Very aggressive, as you can see here. 3 contact points. I don't think these support blades will do much at all. You'll see once the Beyblade is fully assembled, they hardly protrude out. There's the side profile. They also do have a height difference between them, like a millimeter or 2, which I will show once I show off the rest of them. Here is Wizard Ark's support blade here, very round. There's only like a little nook here, and then of course this giant little gap here. Here's side profile. If you could even tell what's happening, it's so neon yellow. And the top. And I wanted to mention before I go on to Perseus's, if you look here where the ratchet sits, so you know where the ratchet sits right there, boop, there's like little plastic nubs holding it, and of course this X. While over here in Drawn, there is no little plastic nubs. It's like 2 solid pieces of plastic, and like a solid piece of plastic here. And I remember in Gale Wyvern, this type of ratchet, sort of seat, I guess you would say, was supposed to be lower burst resistance to compensate for being so round. So I think that's what they're trying to do here, or they just made it like that. But just something to note. And then also it is taller than Drawn support blade. I don't even know what they're called. I just realized. They're support blades. You could look at them. Here is Dark Perseus's, and again it has the little plastic like nubs holding onto the ratchet, and again Gale Wyvern had that, and it was supposed to, come on focus, have lower burst resistance. I didn't really notice anything, but I thought it'd be worth mentioning. God, I'm trying to get a good like a angle of this, but since it's black, it's not focusing, and the light is just not helping at all. There's a side profile and the top. It is kind of round except for these little divots here. I'm not very excited about these parts. Maybe in the future they'll add like rubber to some of them, or metal, or some sort of gimmick. But these support like blades kind of stink, to be honest. I hope they add gimmicks to these support blades. You know, they could make them like Shogun Steel in Metal Fight. I forget the Japanese name. But in Shogun Steel, you could fuse 2 fusion wheels together to make like a super fusion wheel. And maybe in the future, that's what they'll go with. You know, they'll be like rubber, whatever this support blade is called, and these will be rubber contact points. Or, you know, this will be made out of metal and it add crazy weight, but it'll be unbalanced, so it's like metal on one side. Or here, I don't know, free spinning, and now it has a free spinning gimmick. I really hope that's what they do with these support blades, because originally that's what I wanted the ratchets to do, to ratchets to have the gimmicks. You know, imagine a ratchet with rubber on it. Even though it wouldn't perform well, I think it would still be cool if it had one side made out of metal, so you can make your Beyblades, any Beyblade you wanted, unbalanced. You know, that's what I was hoping the ratchets would go. Unfortunately, it seems like the ratchets just govern the height, and then sometimes, again, the burst resistance with these 55 or 85 ones. So, you know, I'm disappointed for the ratchets that they just do height stuff, but I'm optimistic that these support blades will actually do something cool, because once I fully assemble the Beyblade, you'll see they don't really protrude off the blade much, and I don't really think do much at all. Moving on. Oh, you know what? Let me weigh them. All the ratchets and bits weigh the same. Let's weigh these and see the weight difference. Here we have is drawn Braves support. If it'll focus. Hello, my camera died, so I had to record this the next day. I don't remember where I left off. Besides that, I was weighing this. So that is 4.7 grams, and I think this is called slash. This piece, I don't know, I can't remember, is 5.3 grams, so that's like a whole gram difference between them. A Wizard Arcs assist blade. That is the lightest, but only by 0.1 gram. So these two are around the same weight, obviously different shape, but this one's quite a bit heavier. And I figured I'd weigh the other pieces too, since I'm already weighing everything. 6 grams like it typically is. This is Dark Perseus's. 6.9? Wait, really? This is Drawns. Oh wow. A little bit heavier. Now let's see the what was this called again? 455. Wow, it's the lightest. Okay, so there is weight difference. Not like before, earlier in the video that I mentioned. I think all the tips will weigh the same though. This is Wedge, almost 2 grams. I think this is Vortex. 2 grams, a little bit heavier. And then Low Ball. Or not, Low Orb, 2 grams. Alright, now let's move on to the main blades and review them. Starting off with, if it'll focus, Drawn Braves main blade. So obviously it's an attack type blade with 3 major contact points. There's a side profile of it with a little plastic bit there, and then the bottom. And something no one has mentioned before, these are screws here. And I think that's really interesting because if you unscrew them, you could do something like this where you could remove the screws, it'll focus, without destroying the Beyblade. And now you take this off, and now you have a pretty circular open hole, obviously, for potential modifications. You know, if you unscrew these pieces, you won't have the 6 part of the 680 here, and so maybe you could sandwich it in between and it becomes like a crazy drawn blade ratchet. I don't know, that could be a cool idea, and no one's really mentioned that before. Because yeah, if you remove this purple plastic part, which you can, and you know what, I'm gonna try to do it right now with an older ratchet that I don't care about. Hold on. So here we have is a ratchet that I took the screws off of. If we pop this off and remove the little orange piece, for now, because this gets in the way and I don't know how to fix that, I'll move that. But you could do something like this, slide it under, and then sandwich it using this part, and it becomes like this weird not perfect pseudo blade. You probably have to chop off some pieces to get it to fit right. But that's what I'm saying. You see the, look at that. You see the modification potential here? I am. Kind of like what I did for a different mod video, but like reversible now. Oh, let me take this off. Where I chopped up this extra ratchet that I didn't care about, and I cut it and super glued it, and now I have this, but instead of like needing to cut this apart and like drill it and mess with it so much, it could be reversible if you're clever about how you position everything. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean. But I think there is modification potential with this. Or I don't know, maybe there's something else that I'm not seeing that's way more simpler than this. Like maybe you could sandwich it in between the ratchets, because there's like this gap here. Imagine that. I don't think I could do that with this Beyblade, but maybe a different Beyblade. Yeah, no, these things get in the way. Maybe with something like this? It becomes like a pseudo, oh no, it's barely, I don't know. But it's something cool that I thought I would mention before reviewing the other blades. Alright, moving on. And just to prove my point that I did not destroy the Beyblade, I am showing you how I screwed it back in. And then bam! All 3 screws perfectly fine. And now it's put back together. Moving on to Dark Perseus's main blade. Don't know what it's called, forgot, but there's plenty of other Babe tubers. I'm just trying to provide a detailed review and mention some things I haven't seen mentioned before. There's the top, side profile. I think this is going to be a pretty bad defense blade, but a pretty good attack blade, to be honest. And then the bottom, and of course it has the 3 screws. This opening is smaller than drawn swords, as you see here. So if you had an idea, you know, of modifying these Beyblades and making them the ratchets or something like that, just to be warned. Also, I think it's cool that it could just perfectly sandwich upside down like that. I don't know, I'll try to work on like a reversible ratchet blade thing, so it's not permanent like I mentioned before, because this is permanent. I had to super glue this together to make this work. But I feel like there is potential of making a reversible blade ratchet thing. Moving on to Wizard Arcs. I just realized I did that out of order. Wizard Arc CO2. This blade feels very light and it's not very round as Wizard Rods. It kind of reminds me of the thermal wheel from Metal Fight. And the thermal wheel wasn't the best. It was decent. Again, it has a little notch here for recoil, and then of course this, it's pretty flat here. Oh, we'll look at that. It's more like an oval instead of like a circle. So I don't think this is gonna be a very good stamina blade, attack blade. I mean, like I said, it's an oval, but it's like not a very aggressively shaped oval. Oh, I can't do it again. What the heck? How did I do it the first time? Well, I did it. And then the fence. It's just not. It's not very impressive. It feels significantly lighter than the other two main blades. It looks cool. Well, there's a side profile. I just realized it was just showing the top. And then the bottom. It's got a bunch of cutouts too. We'll weigh the parts right now to see if I'm right. This is such a scuffed review. I'm trying to show off what I've noticed. So here is Drawn Brave's main blade. Don't know what it's called. 31.2. What is that compared to like a regular blade? There's Gale Wyvern. Oh, regular blade by itself is the same thing. I guess that makes sense. This is where the most of the metal is. And if you put that with the assist blade, it's a little bit heavier. Anyways, here's Wizard Arc's main blade. A bit lighter, huh? By like 2-ish grams. It's a bit lighter. Whoops. And then, whoops, Dark Perseus's main blade. Oh, this one's lighter, like by 1 gram than Dron's. This one feels heavier. I guess I could be wrong about that. The shadow of my hand. I think this one looks the coolest. Anyways, last but probably least is the bits. Or not the bits, the locking chips. I learned that yesterday. These are called locking chips, not face bolts or whatever I said from the day before. Again, my camera died and this is the next day. Pretty cool, I guess. I mean, the art's cool and all, but there's not much to say about these things. So far, they don't govern anything besides the look of it, and it's made out of plastic. I'd say like a gram. 1.7. Here's Dark Perseus's. Cool. I think this one looks the coolest, but because it's a cool mite. There's the inside of it, if you were curious. You could also like fit the wedge in there if you wanted to super glue this to here. I don't know. Yeah, same weight. I'm sure they're gonna introduce like metal ones. I mean, the metal ones would be cool, like the metal face bolts in Metal Fight, but I could do without them because everyone's just gonna use the metal one, and then all the Beyblades are gonna look the same. If there's like metal Arc Wizard, like everyone's gonna be using the same metal Arc Wizard, and then nothing else. So it'll make to some pretty boring looking Beyblades. So personally, even though it would be cool to have a metal locking chip or whatever, I don't think it's a good idea. Because again, everyone would be using the same phase bolt. Because it's just metal instead of plastic. Now, let's reassemble it. I'm not sure if I showed this the other day. But the way you reassemble, or assemble the whole blade, is that you line it up here. And then it slides into place. Doesn't budge. And then with the locking chip, you slide that on top. Twist. You're supposed to do this with a bit, but I find it easier twisting like that. But here is the fully assembled blade of Wizard Arc. Side profile, huge gap. Huge gap. I don't think that's gonna help Wizard Arc at all, but it is gonna be the shortest Beyblade. Bottom. And let's weigh the full thing. 35.8. That's fine. Not too shabby. Let's go to Perseus Dark. Where is the main blade? There it is. Again, slide it under. Like so. Slide the locking chip on top. I'm sure you've seen this before. Twist. And the fully assembled Perseus Dark. Again, it does not feel like a defense blade at all. It feels way more like a tack blade. Side profile, and then the bottom view. Full Beyblade weighs 37.5. Is that heavier than this? Yeah, it is. Now, we'll assemble this one. There you go. Assemble it like so. I'm sure you all could figure it out. Fully assembled Drawn Brave. top side profile. Now I'll give my thoughts about the assist blades. I think they're kinda underwhelming right now. Let me first weigh it. They're about the same weight as this one. Oh, pretty much exactly the same, right? More or less. But as for this custom line, I think the potential for these blades could be cool. Again, I mentioned before, imagine rubber, or like 1/2 is metal, so it's not too OP and you can make any Beyblade unbalanced. Or like it's a rail and now it has like little marbles inside and it spins around like orbit. But as of right now, I don't think these assist blades literally do anything. Like, look at this. Top half, none of the plastic protrudes out. If you look at the side, it kind of goes inwards. And like the blade's obviously gonna hit the metal first. Maybe sometimes here. So maybe this assist blade could be good. But with drawn blades, I mean, come on. This thing sticks out so far. When is the Beyblade ever gonna hit that like main like plastic blade? Maybe here. But what's that gonna do compared to this? And then even here, especially Wizard Arc, it is so small and like the blade doesn't stick out at all. So it's usually gonna be the shortest, so it's obviously gonna be hitting here the most unless it's tipped forward a lot. Because again, this has the shortest combo we have in Beyblade X so far. The only thing that prevents it from being shorter is the assist blade. The assist blade is the tallest part of the whole Beyblade. But I really think these particular assist blades don't do anything. I don't think they do anything besides add more weight. If anything, if I was going to take this to somewhere competitive, I would probably just take this assist blade, Dark Perseus's. Because look at that, you can't even, nothing protrudes out from the top here. Same thing here, nothing protrudes. And the only thing that protrudes here, can you see it? Is right here, this little notch here. So, I think there's great potential for these assist blades. Again, it could have the gimmicks. I want those assist blades to have the gimmicks so I can mix and match how I want. I really wanted the ratchets to hold the gimmicks, but instead they're just governing height and I guess burst resistance from the shape. Little disappointing from the ratchets, but what can you do? I thought it would be cool if the ratchets had the gimmicks, but hopefully the assist blades will have the gimmicks. If the main blade has the gimmicks, I don't see the point of these assist blades at all. I think they would be redundant and dumb if they don't hold any sort of gimmick. And that's my thought about that. Now before I end the video, I want to thank you all for anyone who stayed this long. This video is going to be like, what, 30 minutes? Probably even more, because I was just rambling for half of that, trying to share my thoughts. But yeah, I'm just trying to be as detailed as possible because everyone has already unboxed this, and I know when I was younger there were some details I was curious about that no unboxing reviewer has mentioned before. Also, this is the fully assembled combo. Let me zoom out a little bit. So I thought somebody might appreciate a review like this, of just a really deep look of the Beyblade. So the full combo weighs almost, 46 grams. Here is Wizard Arcs. I think it's the most disappointing out of the three. I mean, I think it looks cool, but I think the blade is just far too light. And then even though the rest of the combo is very short here, this assist blade just like ruins it. It adds like an extra 2 millimeters. Flashbang. Fully assembled combo. And it seems like it's the lightest out of the three, but let's weigh Dark Perseus. Dark Perseus looks the coolest. I think has the best assist blade. Wedge, I don't care for. I think Wedge will be not so good. I think the thinner the contact point, the more it's gonna lose balance and it's just gonna scrape and be bad. But we'll see, maybe I'm wrong. Fully assembled combo. I don't know why I'm showing it like this. Whatever. Is that a little heavier than drawn? Oh, it's about the same. Unless I have a busted, oh. Why does it keep changing? Okay, they weigh exactly the same apparently. Cool. I don't think there's anything else for me to say. I mean, I've shown everything I could possibly do or showed. I showed the modification capability of these things. You know, hopefully someone smarter than me could like 3D print something that lets these main blades become like assist blades. I don't know, I think that would be cool or something like that. But either ways, thank you forever who stuck around the longest. I don't know, post I was gonna say post something in the comments, but I'm pretty sure no one's gonna watch this long. Post beep in the comments if anyone has stuck around this long, and then I know you're a real one. Thanks for watching me ramble, and thank you so much for watching. I will upload battles more consistently now. Again, I kept on waiting for these, and they were supposed to show up sooner, and they never did. I've done enough rambling. Thank you so much for watching. Post beep if you have watched this long, and if not, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.